if you're here to learn something new today, raise your hand and say, I'm ready to grow.
Ready to grow.
Excellent, because that's exactly what we're going to do. Today it's all about balance. We're going to talk about this balancing act of life. Stillman's going to get us up and active, and I understand we're going to do some headstands today to practice the balance a little bit, right, Stillman?
Correct.
Nutrition topic is know your role. We're going to talk about eating fast. Moderation is another hot topic for wellness, so we're going to explore how moderation can impact our lives positively. Hey, Jessica, come on in. Great quote from Oprah. She said, I've learned that you can't have everything and do everything at the same time. It would be fun to try and prove that theory wrong, right? I guess Oprah would know. Nobody's hit a higher level of success than her. She's got everything at her disposal, people that are beck and call, and even she says that you can't balance it all. So we're going to explore that a little bit real quick. I want you guys to stand up for me. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little exercise, okay? So just spread out a little bit, get comfortable. Anybody do yoga in this room? Even semi-regularly? Okay, we're going to practice a little tree pose. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to find out which dominant foot, if you were to take a step right now, which foot would go forward first? The right? Okay. Whichever foot's going to go forward first, that's the leg that you're going to plant and that you're going to keep sturdy. The other leg you're going to pick up and you're going to place somewhere on your other leg other than your knee. You're not going to hit your knee joint, so if you can go above the knee, we're going to put it just like this. And I want everybody to stand just like this until your foot that you have up hits the floor. Once your foot that you hit, that you have up hits the floor, you're out and you can go ahead and sit down. So let's see who can hold this the longest. I'm going to tell you guys a little story.
It's harder with heels.
It is. You're at a disadvantage there, definitely. But let's see. You know, it's a challenge. So let's see if you can overcome that. Years ago, when I was in Virginia Beach, long before real estate contracting and all that jazz, I loved working on cars, and I turned that into a business. I did classic car restoration, particularly Mustangs were my favorite. I built this 66 Mustang. This thing was beautiful. Welded the body, did all the body work. It was canary yellow, black leather interior from a new late body Mustang. Put a lot of emphasis on the motor because you got to have horsepower, right?
Horsepower.
So I built this motor, and man, this thing was incredible. Ford blue, chrome all over the engine. You could part your hair in it, and this thing was a beast. I mean, everything from the inside out was high performance race. I had $800 worth of nuts and bolts in this engine, Arden, if you can imagine that. So I couldn't wait till the first time I got it all in. Me and my buddy, we fired up the key, and boom, it came to life, and I thought, this is incredible. I mean, it sounded like a helicopter. So, I would rev it up and everything, and, it was very easy to break it in and ease into it. And I started noticing, like, right away, the car had a shimmy to it. For a brand new engine with 0 miles on it, I got a little concerned. So, we took it on a few test drives, and we thought maybe after it broke in, the shimmy would go away, but it didn't. It's kind of what it was, at the stoplight. It was whoop, 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 and then when you rev it up, it was a little bit more. So I took it to some mechanic buddies of mine to get second, third, and fourth opinions, and I asked them, and they said, oh, it's a bad cylinder, it's a bad plug, the timing's off, the tuning, maybe the engine mounts are loose. I mean, I heard every single thing. Just went through this thing with a fine-tooth comb and cannot figure out why I had this stinking vibration. It was just so discouraging. And finally, a friend of mine comes over, redneck guy, straight out of the backwoods. He says, his name was Jimmy, he says, well, I'll tell you what it is right away. Out balance. He said, I bet you knocked the weight off the flywheel when you were joining up the transmission. So I said, son of a gun, one little weight. So it bothered me so much that I had to pull the engine out, the transmission out, disjoint them, take it all apart, and sure enough, that guy was right. There's a little spot where there had been a weight welded on there that came off when we were putting it together. One little 1 ounce weight, it created an imbalance in that engine, which had shuddered through the whole car. So, balance. You guys are doing incredible, by the way. That's awesome. So, balance. We're going to, there's a key. You can go ahead and stop. Let's put our hands down. Give everybody a round of applause. Awesome. So balance is so important, In a car, it creates, discord, it creates vibrations. And in our life, if we're living our life out of balance as well, you know, we have these rough spots caused by that. Can we agree on that, everybody? Raise your hand if you feel like your life is 100% in balance, that you're spending all your time the way that you want and everything balances out perfectly. Didn't think so, me neither. So let's explore exactly 6 steps that we can make space for balance in our life. Number 1, most important step is to identify what's important to you. Now, this has been a common theme throughout the personal development segments of PEP. And really understanding what you want, what defines you, what your core values are, what your priorities are, what your goals are. So when you can establish what you truly want in life, then you can start to look at how you're allocating your time, and then you can really start to create balance. So number 2 is evaluate your current circumstances. If you don't know where you really are right now, if you have no idea how you're spending your time, if you have no idea at the end of the day or at the end of the week why you're not getting things done and why you're not fulfilled, then it's hard to fix that problem. So identify where you are. You know, it's interesting, and we did a little time breakdown in a PEP session a while ago. I've read so many studies, and they estimate that the average American can save between 20 and 28 hours a week if they cut off their cable and unplug their TV. You know, for us, we don't have cable, so we've allocated that time elsewhere, but you know, you just think about it. If you were to pie chart your time, where you're spending it right now, how much time is going into the TV? Now, I'm not saying you gotta cut your cable off and unplug your TV like we did, and we do enjoy movies from time to time, but you need to put it in balance so that you're not letting it consume and take away. Other activities that sometimes you get roped into, maybe you're in your child's PTA. So, and if you get great satisfaction and fulfillment by participating in the school activities, and that's bonding time and that's quality time to you, then by all means keep doing it. But if you're doing it out of obligation and it's really a drag for you, then maybe you kind of have to reevaluate some of the things that you're letting yourself get into. Number 3, define what is non-negotiable in your life. I mean, there are certain things that we just don't want to compromise. And when we're, you know, going on a first date or meeting a mate, or when we're, you know, interviewing for a job, these things come up. Oh, well, you know, I cannot work on Saturday and Sunday. Boom, that job's not for you. Or, you know what, I can't deal with somebody that smokes. I can't date you. Sorry. So you got to define these things that are non-negotiable to you. One of the things that are non-negotiable to me is exercise on a daily basis. I'm very passionate about it. Stillman's got me and Josh on a very good strength training regimen here, and it's a 90-minute commitment 3 days a week. The other 3 or 4 days a week, though, I can't afford to give up the 90 minutes, and I can't come down here in the gym. So that's when these easy anytime exercises, the stretches, the yoga, all the things I do at home, walking, meditation, all those kind of count as my exercise. I'm exercising my mind, I'm stretching, all these different things. So figure out what is non-negotiable to you and draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, come hell or high water, before I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna write for 30 minutes, I'm gonna journal, I'm gonna blog, I'm gonna, you know, whatever it is, you know, and set that space aside for yourself. Number 4, you redesign your life around what you really want. And you know, this might be a challenge when you have others to take into consideration. If you're already in a relationship, if you're married, or you already have the job commitments. But maybe there's ways that you can realign your time or redistribute your responsibilities and get other people to help you out, so you can start to really shape your life in the direction that you want it to go. Number 5, learn to say no. This is such a tough problem for so many people, myself included. I mean, wow, I can't tell you how many times as a coach people want to take advantage of my time to, you know, get my opinion on things. I have friends call me up, I really had a rough day, you know, my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. Can you meet me at Starbucks, please? And I'm thinking about all the stuff I have to do that evening at home, my priority, my want-tos, my goals. And I'm like, God, I gotta help this person. What if you could still do that, but you could tweak it on your terms? And you say, I tell you what, you know, why don't you meet me over at my house? I'm gonna make us a fresh juice. Boom, that checks off something nutritional that I wanted to do for myself. And I got some things at the house I need done. When they show up, you hand them a pair of gloves and you hand them, you know, a pair of shorts or something. You say, I got some weeds growing in my planter box of the garden. Let's talk through your problems. I've got weeds to pull out. You've got weeds in your relationship that we're gonna sort through. Boom, you just multitasked. You helped your friend, you got stuff done, you made some juice, and you know, you weren't sitting at Starbucks for an hour and a half miserable, you know, listening to your friend dump all these things on you. One of the best ways to stress relief too is to root your feet into the soil and ground yourself out with the earth. So you've accomplished a lot of things there. So when these things come up that want to take your time, that want to take more responsibility away from you, think about how you can turn that and put it on your terms and make it work for you. Number 6, you must come first. I mean, everything comes back to you. We want to create balance and harmony. I'm not telling you to discount the needs of others or your responsibilities, but there's nothing more important in the world to you than you, right? And if you don't put yourself first, what's going to happen? You're going to end up breaking, you're going to end up in a bad situation mentally, physically, or financially, and then you're going to have to rely on the other people that you want to help and that you want to mentor and coach and do things for and take on trips. You're going to end up having to rely on them to help you. So put yourself first when you're creating this balance in your life. Stoneman, what do you got planned for us today? Easy anytime exercise-wise. Can you get some balance going for us today?
Balance.
All right, sir.
Okay, let's take off from that in investing in yourself. One of my little slogans that I created was invest in me, then you'll see the best I'll be. Now, what he's talking about is very, very important. If you get up and you have your to-do list and you do what you need to do, then you can give your love to your kids and to your coworkers, to your spouses, significant others. So that's a very, very important thing. It's the pendulum. Do you want to wake up every day with a feeling of accomplishment that you go through the day, or the feeling of regret? In 30 years of working with people in the health and fitness industry, what I found, a common thread for businessmen and women, is that they do their exercise early in the morning. So what he's talking about is, how many are doing stomach vacuums when they're lying in bed when they first wake up? Okay, a few. All right, or you're breathing. So those simple little easy anytime, anywhere exercises that we shared with you are something that you could do. You roll out of bed, or you stay in bed, you could do your breathing, you can do your stomach vacuums. So multitask them with that. Or you can go and lay on the floor in the living room on a mat or on something, and you could listen to the news. If that's what you need to hear, the news, the weather. What I want to know is what the weather's going to be like and the traffic patterns if I'm coming down the highway. Those are the two common things for me. So while you can do that, while you're doing that, you can lay on the floor and you could be doing some stretching, stomach vacuums. All right? So shifting over to our easy anytime, anywhere exercises. We've done a lot of leg exercises. And I related to your leg muscles as the engine in your automobile, correct? As you have more horsepower, you burn more gas. As you have more muscle mass, you burn more energy. Your metabolism goes up. All right. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to shift from the legs to the upper body. We're going to deal with the triceps. All right. So everybody just sit there, sit up straight. All right. We're going to do our breathing exercise. Hopefully you're doing it. We're going to inhale for 7 seconds. We're going to hold for 28 seconds. And we're going to exhale for 14. Why are we doing this, Stillman? Because this gets the oxygen flowing in your body and in your brain and in your mind. And if you do about 5 of these in the morning, what will happen? Your brain's going to be more alert. It's going to be like, turning on the light bulb. The alertness, the mental clarity is there. So if you want that early in the morning, here's a great way to do it. You could do it before you get out of your bed. Or I basically go and lie down on the floor and hit the TV and listen to the news and do it at that time. Now what I personally do is, because I have a watch, I just have my watch set. Or you can have a clock and you can watch it, right? You inhale, then you hold it for 35 seconds, 28 seconds, and you add it up, and then you exhale. All right? All right, so we're going to do that. Inhale for 7, hold for 28, exhale for 14. Everybody sit up straight, feet flat. Whether you want them closed or apart, it's a personal thing. All right, ready, go. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, relax. Okay, stomach vacuums. Who's doing the stomach vacuums on a regular basis? All right? If you're doing them on a regular basis, I don't want to see a show of hand, but I just want you to answer this internally. do you actually feel that your abdominals are tightening up a little bit more? That's the question. Because the purpose is, the bodybuilders are one of the few individuals that started this trend of stomach vacuums. And they would suck up their abdominals, and they especially do it when they're doing competition. All right? So it would tighten up the abdominals and then the deep abdominal muscles, your transverse abdominals, okay? So it's a great, simple little thing that you could do. Five repetitions. I usually do 5 repetitions for 15 seconds. Once again, it's something that you can do while you're multitasking by listening to either some music or the news or the weather. I do it on the floor. It's easier on the floor. So you can do them sitting. So we're going to do them seated today. So everybody sit up. Okay, we're going to inhale. We're going to exhale. We're going to suck our belly button to our spine for 15 seconds. All right, ready? Inhale. Exhale. Go. Suck your abdominal, your belly button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Relax. Okay. Today's easy anytime exercise is basically dealing with the triceps. All right? All the ladies, more so than the guys, have a lot more fat cells in this area. So they feel that it jiggles a little bit. All right? So what we're looking at trying to do today is show you some different exercises that you can do to tighten that up. All right, so one of the things we want to do is, because elbows are tender, all right? And what I mean by that is the wrist curls are good to help loosen up the elbow on the top, the bottom, and the inside and the outside, correct?
Yes.
All right, Cindy is a massage therapist, so she probably deals with a lot of people that type, and this is a very tensioned area. All right, so the same thing with the elbows. All right, so my first suggestion before you start doing activities that I'm going to show you with your elbows is basically everybody hold out their right arm. All right, and we just want to remember we did these. Roll your wrists. Okay, and you may hear some popping in your forearm and your elbow. So go clockwise 3 or 4 times, then go counterclockwise. Okay, all right, now bring it up straight so we got like a 90-degree, and you can hold your elbow, and it's the same thing. Keep this fist tight. Now we're going to move it at the elbow joint. Okay. Clockwise 3 or 4 times, then counterclockwise. Okay, well, why am I doing this, though? We're loosening up the elbow joint. All right, we want to loosen up the forearms, which loosen up the elbow. Okay, now we're going to deal with the tricep, and it's going to be a movement up here. So now you're saying, well, why do you do all this? Because if you're going to exercise or you're going to do something that's a little strenuous, you want to loosen all these things up first. Now, I'm going to be honest, if you were 15 to 20 years old, which some of us aren't, okay, you could probably get away with doing this stuff without that. But as I've learned to work with people that are in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and my oldest client is 94, I've learned that they need to get these areas warmed up. Okay, do you warm up an area first before you go a little deeper?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, it's the same thing. See what I'm saying? There's common threads that happen in the fitness realm and what Sean's talking about as far as eating and as far as habits. All right, so this is a simple little thing I just want you to watch, because I'll show you that. I'm going to make it real quick. What I do is I have them do, I call them windmills. They just stand here with good posture, and I just have them rotate their shoulder 10 times forward, 10 times backwards. That's all I have them do, to loosen up the shoulder joint. Is the shoulder joint one of the areas that you see a lot of injuries?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of muscles up in there. Okay, and it's a joint that gets inflamed a lot. And I have them do it to both sides. All right? So we understand that. Now, we're getting ready for the triceps. All right. So everybody take their right hand, raise it up. Okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to bend it down and see if you can put it between your shoulder blades here. All right? Which is going to stretch the tricep muscle. And it's going to stretch a little bit of the lats, but predominantly we're trying to stretch the tricep muscle. But what it's going to do is it's going to put a little stress on that elbow because you're way here in the back. All right? So a simple little thing for some people would be just to take it and extend your right arm all the way up. Okay? Up. Now we're stretching this. The muscle's being stretched. Now it's contracting it up. All right? So that's something simple that you can do. So we can take that. And get my jug and my towel there. Thanks. All right. So what you could do is you could get your water bottle. All right? Put it in your hand. All you're going to do is bend it, come down, and up. Now, let's be real. Some people may have tender elbows. Okay? So what do? You may not go so far. You may only go until it's 90 degrees. and then go back up. But your goal is to go all the way down and stretch the full tricep, okay? So you could do that with a water jug, all right? Or what you could do is you can get a towel, okay? And what you can do is you can use your own manual resistance. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling a little resistance with my right arm as I push upwards with my left. And you may have a limited range. You may only be able to go here. You get a longer towel, you'll be able to go farther, or it depends on your flexibility. So think of it as 4 seconds up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's something simple that you can actually do anywhere very easily at your workstation or in your home. Okay? So if you want to do 2 arms, say for example you wanted something a little heavier, you could just do 2 arms. Holding it this way, stretching down with both arms, and then all the way up. So there's 3 different little variations of how to work your triceps. All right. In closing, here's the question that you need to ponder. Some of you may know the answer today. 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat, they weigh the same, right? Pound of muscle and a pound of fat. They have to weigh the same, okay? But the question is, how many calories are in a pound of muscle and how many calories are in a pound of fat? That's your homework assignment. Sean?
Thanks, Stillman. I would add to that, how many toxins are in a pound of fat versus a pound of muscle? Muscle's lean. All right. Moving into our nutrition topic for the day. I love this one. Slow your roll when you're eating. First, I wanted to take us into a little a thought pattern here. I want you to imagine that we're living 2,000 years ago. Okay, and that you have a family and that you live on the outskirts of town. You know, it's rural, and you have a little garden, and you know, you hunt, you fish, you gather. And it was a tough winter this year, and you tapped out all your food reserves. And the snow's slowly starting to melt off, and the days are getting longer, and the temperatures are getting warmer. And I mean, you guys are in an involuntary fast, you and your family. But luckily, nature has equipped us with the ability to go long periods of time without food. So, you know, we're hungry. We've rationed it all, it's gone, and now we're out foraging as the snow melts. And we're walking through the woods, and we see this patch, this beautiful bush with these berries, this succulent fruit, and these fragrant herb leaves like mint. And you and your family are like, oh my God, yes. And you run over and you grab a couple of them and you just, and you pop them in your mouth, and it's the most delicious food you've had in 2 weeks because it's the only food you've had in 2 weeks. Has anybody ever done a water fast in this room? Me too. 127 and a half hours. I went a couple months ago, worked out through the whole thing. And I'm telling you, when I put the first food back in my mouth, it was just so flavorful and succulent. So food was really meant to be enjoyed and appreciated. And you know, eating, there's nothing more intimate, I think, that we can possibly do as humans than eat. Certainly, you know, lovemaking and sex is, you know, what most people think of when they think of intimacy, but you're actually ingesting something into your body that is then becoming you. It's giving you the energy, it's giving you life, it built you. So food is a very intimate experience. So allow your senses to enjoy the food. Now, most of us today are always in a crunch when it comes to eating. Oh, I got an hour to squeeze lunch in. Where can I go? What can I get? You know, I'm gonna eat this while I'm on the way to work in the morning. I'm putting on my makeup, I got food in this hand, I'm driving with my knees. And then on the way home, it's like, what am I gonna feed the kids and the family? And how can I didn't have time to shop or prep or cook, and it's something thrown together quickly, and then the kids are watching TV, playing video games, and it's discord. I've had the pleasure of going to Europe quite a few times, and they, I think, cherish the dining experience a little bit more than we do here in America. You know, even in certain parts of France, they take like 2-hour lunches, and it's a very social thing, and it's very enjoyable. And they have a lot less digestive problems than we do. Here's why. Digestion is a process that our body goes through. It's the #1 energy drain on the body. And this process involves mental, chemical, mechanical, and time factors. So let's talk about these factors. Where does the digestion process actually start? Is it in the mouth?
Actually, when you're looking at it before it goes in your mouth.
Getting warmer, yeah. And then when you look at it, like what happens? Something happens here. The brain's like, oh, cool, food. All right, we're ready. You know, stomach, go ahead and growl. Mouth, go ahead and salivate. So, you know, thought really starts that digestive process. It gets the body ready for food. And smell triggers a lot of things as well. Smell can cause us to salivate. You know, smell can release the enzymes in the mouth and different digestive juices. Touch reinforces to the body that, hey, food is actually here. We've attained it. It's ready to come in. The touch can tell us, you know, how much quantity, the texture, so the body can anticipate and get ready, just on a cellular level, on an enzymatic level, on a digestive juice level. Taste, you know, besides creating a pleasure in our mouth, that taste also tells our body the type and quality of food, the ripeness, the sugar content. Is it sweet? Is it bitter? Is it, you know, spicy? So that the body can start to release the proper enzymes and digestive juices. Chewing, right here in the mouth. It's a mechanical process that many of us miss. I have conversations with a very good friend of mine. In fact, the girl that introduced Chelsea and I, she does colonics, and part of the colonic is an analysis of what waste products are coming out. And she's told me some interesting stories where in whole, unchewed chunks of red skin potato, the skin's still on it and everything, you know, just unchewed food. You can tell if you're not chewing your food. So what happens when you don't chew your food is you're bypassing a very important process. So I had a larger ball I was going to use as a demo, but I forgot it. So which is more surface area, these two balls or one large ball? The smaller pieces have more surface area. So when you're chewing your food and breaking it down into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, it's easy for the digestive juices, the saliva in your mouth and the enzymes to attack the food when it's a broken down mush versus a solid chunk that it can't penetrate to the center of. So we got stomach aches, cramps, bloating, gas, indigestion, constipation, all these things. You might have a big chunk of potato lodged in us somewhere that's causing that problem. So some of the chemical reactions that take place in our body, we have acid in our stomach, the liver releases bile through the gallbladder. We have amylase, lipase, ptyalin, pepsin are some of the digestive enzymes found in our mouth, esophagus, and stomach. And these work to break the food down further on a cellular level so that it can be absorbed through the walls of our intestines and then absorbed into the blood and utilized by all the cells. Our cells here can't utilize a chunk of potato this big. That's just going to create a problem or get discharged or something like that. So small quantities of like kind food, it's really the way that we were meant. If you go back to that story that we were imagining 2,000 years ago, how people ate. When you go out, typically different fruits and vegetables come into season at the same time. And coincidentally, most of them in a geographic region, the stuff that's in season together go fairly well together. But now we have the ability to import stuff from all over the world, and we have the ability to have a smorgasbord of stuff in front of us that don't necessarily digest together properly. Like we talked meat and potatoes a couple of weeks ago and how that's a bad reaction. So that farmer 2,000 years ago, they were eating, one like kind food at a time. Our ancestors thousands of years ago were, hunters and gatherers and foragers. They were walking through the woods. Oh, here's an orange. They would eat the orange for a while. They would get hungry. They would find an apple, and that's how people typically ate. Now, small portions also keep our digestive system moving better. If you want to trigger the weight loss process, I say eat more and eat more often throughout the day. I think one of the worst things you could do, Chelsea, would you agree to eat one very large meal throughout the day?
Oh, yeah, that's awful for your metabolism.
Yeah, and it keeps your body in storage mode because your body thinks, oh man, when's the next meal coming? I got to convert and store all this to go through another 24 hours without food. It's that feast or famine that kicks in. So small, easily digested portions keep the system flowing, keep the metabolism hot, and create less of a load on your body. Rushing when we eat is oftentimes a product of stress. We're in a hurry. We're thinking, oh, I got to do all this other stuff. I don't have time to eat. And stress, we've talked many different situations through this program how stress is the #1 detriment to our physical and mental and financial health as well. So what does stress do to our gut? What happens if you feel like you're about to go through a divorce, or you might get fired? You know, your stomach start churning. You know, maybe you're a little nauseous. Maybe you overeat, or maybe you don't want to eat anything at all. And there's just an incredible connectivity between the mind and the gut. They've done a tremendous amount of research. They call it an enteric communication system. All these beneficial bacteria and flora in our gut can transfer information straight to the brain, chemically, electrically. It's incredible. So when the mind gets under stress, it throws these guys off, and they're confused, and they don't know what to do, and the organs don't know when to release the proper fluids, and then you got a big, mess brewing, a science project in your stomach. And likewise, when you're eating crap all the time, and it's going into your gut, these guys down here are shouting up here like, hey, what the heck are you doing, man? We need good stuff, you're giving us bad stuff, and then they're creating a chemical and emotional stress here that we don't realize sometimes. So take your time. Eat to live, don't live to eat, and when you follow that philosophy, your life will be much more productive, much healthier, and you'll have more energy. Moderation. Eat in moderation. And if you break the word down, you get mode and ration. I say mode to ration. In the mindset to limit quantity. We're naturally ingrained. We have this instinctual thing that's ingrained into us called feast or famine, and it dates back to our evolution. When you come across a bunch of food, you think, hey, I just hit the mother lode, I better eat all this I can because I might not be able to eat for another couple of days or another couple of weeks. Or in the convenience store, there's no easy access to food. The problem is nowadays we have such easy access to food that the famine never comes. We're not active enough because we're out of balance and we're not incorporating exercise, so we just keep storing and storing and storing. So everything in moderation I think is good. I mean, even too much of a good thing is bad. Water is one of the most important things in the world, but too much water, and what happens? Drowned, right? Too much water in the wrong place at the wrong time and you're drowning. So let's talk seriously. I mean, how many people in here are willing to, I know Stillman doesn't drink, but how many people in here can honestly raise their hand and say right now that they could make a commitment and never drink another sip of alcohol in their life? Wow. Incredible, that's good.
Well, find out if they're drinkers to begin with.
Are you drinkers? Are you drinkers to begin with? You guys drink now?
Once
Occasionally?
every 6 months.
Once every 6 months?
Sometimes.
Once in a while? Gretchen? No? Not really? I like red wine. I'm a huge fan of it. I've worked in a fine dining restaurant in the past, and it was mandatory that we have wine tastings every Sunday because they want us to know the wine so we could sell it. We won all these awards, and it really became ingrained in me. And I don't ever drink it in excess. I can't remember ever having a hangover. Maybe the last one I had was in my teens. Before I knew better.
In the cruise.
Right, exactly. In the cruise story. Stillman knows a funny story. But not a lot of people are willing to give up alcohol, and that's okay. And I would rather them be honest with me and let's find some common ground that we can establish. Yes?
Isn't a glass of wine a day supposed to be good? Not that I do it every day, but once in a great while I like to have a glass of wine, and it's supposed to be good for you.
That's what the French
I'm not that
say,
drinker,
and they have a
but-
very low incidence. There are some good things in wine,
With a dinner, that's it.
especially if you can get sulfite-free organic wine. Chelsea, do you want to elaborate on the wine?
They're also coming out with studies now that say it's not just the wine, it's any type of alcohol. It's good for your heart, it helps it in the blood.
Yep.
It's the only reason I drink it.
I mean, the wine does have some, good qualities too, like, it's got the polyphenols or whatever, and I mean, the best obviously is if you get organic red wine, because it has less sugar in it. It doesn't contain as many sulfites.
There's resveratrol in there as well, which they say grapeseed extract as well. It's good for the eyes, good for the blood, heart health. So, and if you look at the wine drinking cultures in the world, they have a lot less incidence of heart disease, but they also do different things than we do lifestyle-wise too. So it's hard to say across the board. But probably I could, if my life depended on it, if I had a liver problem or if I had a major health problem or something, I could say, yeah, I could quit. I could have the willpower to never drink again. But the average person can't. So I want to explore some ways that we can ration ourselves when it comes to drinking. I think I have a lot of friends that are Irish, and they have a problem with overindulgence sometimes, and nobody likes a sloppy drunk. And I don't think anybody, even though they're having fun that night, I don't think anybody likes the consequences the next day, especially if you're at a company Christmas party. That's a bad situation. I've had to coach some people through that. So, don't drink to the point of, sickness or excessive drunkenness. You'll only damage your health, and the benefits are having a little fun. It's not worth what you're going to do to yourself. If you got to eat candy and junk food, first I would say let's explore some healthy things that you can substitute. Remember the Choco Avo parfait that we brought in, the black bean brownies. Chelsea's got some phenomenal recipes, those cookies that you brought that time. So there are, first of all, there are healthier alternatives, but even then we can often overindulge in those things as well. So, try to limit the bad things that you're doing. Now some people say, oh, well, it's just one cookie, it's just a little bit. Yeah, but if it's got preservatives or aspartame in it, even a little bit of aspartame to me is not acceptable in any moderation whatsoever. Try to go buy a pack of chewing gum now that doesn't have aspartame in it. It's a challenge. Yep, you got a ginger gum or something from the health food store. So, those little things in moderation, they can do a lot of harm to us on a cellular level. Some clients that I've worked with to quit smoking, they say, oh, well, down to 1 cigarette a day. I'm like, well, that's better than 2 packs a day, but still, that's 365 cigarettes in a year. Every cigarette releases over 1,000 chemical compounds into the body, some of which take over 15 years to naturally process out of your system. And when we talk about cell replication, every time a cell divides and copies itself, all these chemical reactions take place in the DNA. And if one of them goes wrong, that resulting cell is a mutant cell or it could be a cancerous cell. So when you got all these toxins floating around in your body, even from 1 cigarette, you're still doing damage to yourself. Some people I work with, they say, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be healthy 6 days out of the week. I'm going to follow the plan to the T, Sunday through Friday, but Saturday is my day. I'm going to do whatever I want to do on Saturday. Saturday is party time. And I said to them, okay, I commend you on making the commitment to live a healthy lifestyle 6 days a week. That's great, that's awesome. You're probably 6 times healthier than what the average person is doing. But I have a great analogy. Still want to put this on here for you, and that's BMW. Let's say you love your car, you value your car regardless of what it is, a 1982 Pinto or a brand new Beamer. So, you keep it clean, so you're comfortable in it, you wanted to show it off, even if it's older or whatever, so you polish it, you clean it, you vacuum it, you shine the dash, and you want it to last longer, and you're really proud, you paid the thing off, you put the top gas in, all these things, and you work all week to keep it clean. You park it in the garage, you don't park it in the tree where the bird's gonna poop on it. You learn that lesson one time. And then on Saturday, you say, you know what? Got some friends down at the beach at Ponce Inlet. I'm gonna drive this sucker out on the beach, man. I'm gonna do some donuts, I'm gonna kick up some sand, I'm gonna go out, jump in the water, swim, get back in the car with a wet bathing suit and sand clumped to my feet. So what? It was cool, I kept it clean all week. And then you get home and you say, what a mess have I created here? And then you gotta go back to work, cleaning everything up again. Is it easier just to keep something clean a little bit at a time along the way? Or is it harder after a big party or a big mess or something to have to go and start all over from scratch? That's what so many people do. I've got a client I'm working with here that I'm cooking for, we're coaching, and he lost 17 pounds in 2 weeks. Went through this intense detoxification process, was feeling very good about it. Stuck to the program to the T. 2 days after he came off the program, he broke down, went to Fuddruckers, and just loaded up. Loaded completely up. Gained 5 pounds back in 1 day, and he found it hard to believe that he actually consumed 5 pounds of food. And I said, well, where did it come from? You're not holding 5 pounds of air in your lungs. So I said, okay, what you've done is, and he's a car guy, so what you've done is you've just driven your car through the biggest, dirtiest mud puddle you could find after you got it polished and clean. So we had to go back and redo some of that cleaning process. I'm not telling you not to splurge from time to time. I mean, certainly, there's things that I splurge on from time to time as well. I just choose healthier options than the average person. And after going through everything that you went through, I certainly would not have gone to Flutteruckers and got bacon cheeseburger and ice cream on top of it and all these things. So yes, Leah.
I think a perfect example, because one of the things I think about with moderation, it's very relative term. What's moderation to me might be different with moderation to him. And the first person that always pops into my head now when I hear the word moderation is Paula Deen. When she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, she just argued and argued and argued, oh, everything in moderation, moderation. Well, moderation for her is like 1 stick of butter versus 2 sticks of butter that she's gonna put in the recipe, which is not really helping. So with moderation, you really need to think about, because I love that kind of like the 80-20 rule sometimes, I'm gonna do 80% of the time to do the right thing, and 20% of the time I might splurge, which I don't even think I do 20% of the time, but it's such a relative term, so you really need to educate yourself on whatever you're doing that is you're splurging, how is it impacting your body? You need to know, because that's your responsibility to your body. And when you talk about that term moderation, you're knowing, okay, what is really moderation and what's just still going too far.
Other than the word moderation, one word comes to mind here that's kind of the solution to the problem. Does anybody have any idea what that word is?
Balance.
Balance. Finding a balance. So if you're relatively healthy and happy with your current level of health, if you have no pressing health problems, if you have no weight to lose, if you have no hereditary issues that you're trying to ward off, then yeah, I mean, live a little bit more and satisfy yourself, but find that balance. If you have a goal to lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, if you've been diagnosed with diabetes or a heart condition or something like that, then you have no room to cheat, really, in my opinion. I mean, you need to get on a program, you need to stick to it, and that is your balance. So, and Chelsea is very good about helping people find balanced eating programs. I mean, that's the whole basis of your company, right, Chelsea?
It is,
the
yeah.
Art for Balance.
Yeah.
Yep. So here's some examples I would use for cleaning up, for cleaning house, so to speak. Drinking alcohol, it dehydrates the body. So make sure you drink plenty of water. What I tell my clients is if you're gonna have a beer, for every beer you drink at least the same quantity of water, if not twice as much. So for every beer, 2 cups of water in between. It also pounds the liver with toxins. I mean, that's why we get the hangover. That's why we feel so bad. That's why we're nauseous. The liver is one of those profound organs in the body. It's got to do its normal job, and then all of a sudden you throw all this junk in the mix that toxifies it. So do a liver flush. There's all kinds of natural products that you can do that will help flush your liver. There's regimens you can go through that Chelsea or I can help you with. There's a product on my website called Hair the Dog. This product does have food coloring in it and stuff. Stacey and I have talked about it a couple times, but it was originally intended to detoxify the livers of chemotherapy patients. A smart marketer got his hands on it and said, hey man, if people are going to drink Red Bull anyway and do something bad, let's give them something that's going to detox the liver. Let them use that as a mixer for their alcohol. Have a Hair of the Dog in vodka instead of a Red Bull in vodka. Is it perfectly healthy? Absolutely not. Is it 10 times healthier than the Red Bull option? Absolutely. So find alternatives. Drinking alcohol also acidifies the body. We've talked about how acid environment in the body can be detrimental to our immune systems, our enzymes, our digestive system, everything. So we want to alkalize the body. If I have wine one night, first thing I do the next morning, and usually every day, I'll do a wheatgrass shot. Very rapidly detoxes the liver, alkalizes the body. Fruits and vegetables, a little bit of lemon in your water, drinking alkaline water. All these things will help counteract the acidity caused by alcohol. Fresh supplements as well, you can supplement. Pizza, cheese, and dairy. This is one of the toughest things for a lot of people to give up. Once again, they're alternatives. Anybody ever been down to the Port Orange Pavilion to the Red Brick Pizza Oven? We found this place and it was like, hallelujah. They have a vegan, cheese, gluten-free pizza that is absolutely incredible. You can get the pizza any way you want it with any toppings, and it's gluten-free and vegan, and we were just in heaven. And there's vegan cheeses, so there are alternatives as well that you can get for that. But if you do eat a regular pizza, if you have a Pizza Hut pizza and you splurge once in a while, that cheese, that ooey gooey stringy cheese, it's gonna put a nice ooey gooey stringy coating on the inside of your curvaceous intestines. So what do you do to counteract that? Well, you eat some dense, roughage-rich foods, a lot of root vegetables, a lot of greens, a lot of fiber to help move that through. You hydrate. That water intake is going to help your colon to flush and remove these toxins. You can do a colon cleanse formula. They sell them in many of the health food stores. You know, a couple of spoons of Dr. Schultz's colon cleanse formula or something in your juice or water will help get things moving. You can go to various places and get a colonic done or an enema, you know, if it's really affecting you on a bad level. There's another one. Don't drink cold beverages when you're eating, you know, cheesy, fatty foods. It accelerates the coagulation of the oils in those foods. So, you know, it's not ideal to drink with a meal anyway. I try to drink my water a little bit before or a little bit after, in between the meals, because you're diluting your digestive juices when you're adding even water to the mix. So, you know, cold beverages, much better. I'd say I drink 80% of my water at room temperature. Now, if I'm out cutting the grass, which I did yesterday morning, and I came in and was like sweating bullets, yeah, I went right for some cold water. But room temperature water would be ideal. Just no really cold beverages with fatty foods. Chelsea, you have anything to add to that or any comments?
No, that's right on.
Okay.
It'll make it even stickier and hard to move it through.
Right. It's like, you know, you think about a pizza on a pizza pan. When you, you know, cook a pizza in the oven, you pull the first slice out and it's all stringy. You come back for seconds and it's solidified a little bit more when it cooled, so it's not as stringy and you can pull it off without a mess. And then you get into watching the movie and you go to clean the kitchen and the rest of the pizza and the cheese is like glued to the pizza pan because it's cooled. Yeah, that's going on in our bodies too. So just think about that when you put it in there. Tangible takeaways for today. Okay, I want you guys to really seriously give some thought and evaluate your life, where you are right now, how you're spending your time, the things that you're doing, the tasks that you do at work, at home, for your family, for your friends. And really ask yourself, like, am I in balance? Is this what I want to do? Because folks, I mean, the importance of what we're doing right here is, if there's one thing I want to impress upon you, it's the value of time. We only have one today. And how we spend today is going to determine where we are tomorrow and the next day. So, you know, really think about things that you can maybe substitute or replace or remove, or new things that you can add into your life that will help you get into balance. Deborah Ann and I were talking before you guys came in. Last week I was suffering a little bit of tension. I woke up with a crick in my neck and a little tension in my back, and I worked so hard that week I hadn't stretched for a couple days, and boom, it hit me. And I was out of balance. I was out of balance with my time. I hadn't balanced it to stretching, which I was accustomed to on a daily basis, and I paid for it. So my body tried to correct. You know, first it was tense here, and then the tension went to here, so my body tried to balance itself out and straighten it out. So, you know, finding time to live a balanced life, to reduce that stress, incorporate things that are going to help you grow. So really put some thought into it over this week, guys. If you can do that, make a commitment, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Number 2, we want your help to finish out the rest of this PEP program. We'd like to think that we've covered some great topics over the last 19 weeks. Wow, we're 19 weeks now. That's incredible. You guys are like family. So I really want you to think about if there's anything that you heard that you don't quite understand and would like clarification, anything you would like us to revisit, I want you to let us know. If there are any topics or suggestions that you would like to see covered, please let us know. If there's any things that you've read, Stacy and April share some great articles with me from time to time that you think warrants discussion. We want over the next 5 weeks to close out with, you know, what's important to you guys. I mean, certainly we have enough content, we can go another 24 weeks with you, but it's very important to us to kind of build on what we've done and to understand where you guys are right now and what you'd like to hear. So email us any thoughts, questions, ideas you have. If it's something personal, we may address it, but we certainly won't, call you out if you just say, hey, I had a question but don't want the whole room to know. We can deal with it by email or one-on-one on the phone, or if it's something that other people are asking about too, we'll talk about it in class. Leah, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? So let us know and we'll work it into the mix for you. All right, guys, I want to close out real quick. Close your eyes for me. Just take a deep breath. Do a couple of real quick, deep, easy breaths, relax, de-stress. Just take a moment to absorb the information you received today. You've invested your most precious asset with us today, your time. So thank yourself for investing in yourself. And thank yourself for putting yourself first for the last hour. And thank your mind for opening up and receiving new information. And thank your body for every breath you breathe, every heartbeat you pumped, and every eyelid that blinked. Thank the workforce of all the cells in your body that keep you alive on a daily basis. And thank the universe for all the potential it has to offer you. But most importantly, thank you guys for being you. Open your eyes, please. Guys, knowledge is power. Got a couple teachers in the room, I think, that would attest to that, right? Knowledge is absolutely power, and I would like to think that we've empowered you with some good knowledge today. Now, what you do with this gift is up to you. So insanity states what? We're going to continue doing the same thing, the same way, and expect different results. But I truly, honestly, in my heart believe that we all have the power and potential to make any change that we want to see in our lives just with one split second of thought, which then leads to different actions, which then leads us to the results that we want in life rather than the results that we're just getting for our routine. So when's the best time to change? Now. And where should we start?
Here.
All right, let's finish out with some positive words. Everybody have their affirmation cards with them? Stand up. Cindy, do you need one?
I don't have one.
Slowly, can you grab one for Cindy real quick? I think they're over there. Okay, guys, we are going to start on the wealth side first. On 3, after me. 1, 2, 3. I am appreciative of time and every moment I am alive, especially now. I invest my time daily in my most valuable asset, me. I am grateful for everything in my life, whether it's a blessing or a challenge, tremendous or tiny. I am a motivated, self-starting doer who shuns procrastination and hesitation. I will use my experiences, whether good or bad, right or wrong, to evolve, learn, gain wisdom, and grow. All right, health side on 3. 1, 2, 3. I may not be a doctor, but I'm earning my PhD in practicing health daily. I will underwrite my own assurance policy and do everything possible to maximize my life and protect my health. I will achieve wellness by creating balance in my life. I realize that my greatest wealth is in my health, and I strive to become wealthy every day. I am strong, beautiful, unique, energized, and passionate, and I'm getting healthier, happier, more successful day by day. Turn to your neighbor and give them a high five and say, life is good. Life is good. Life's good. Life's good, man.